When I think of Black excellence in the arts, I think of some of the movies that I used to see in the 90s when I was a kid. Spike Lee's movies were fantastic. And I think my favorite one might be Malcolm X. You got Spike Lee, you got Denzel Washington, and you have this rich, rich history of what was going down in Harlem and then eventually America, and the great story of Malcolm X. And I just think it was so incredible. And I remember watching what Denzel Washington was doing and seeing his performance, and then seeing him be nominated for an Academy Award for it. And it was just so inspirational for me. And he definitely has an influence on what I do. I oftentimes think about, you know, what would Denzel do regarding a scene or in life. And oddly enough, I've become friends with his son, John David Washington, who sounds a little too much like his dad. So sometimes I find myself talking to him and I'm just staring at him like, what's going on? But to see that history, you know, into this new generation is incredible. So when I think of Black history and Black excellence and how it's inspired me, I think of Denzel Washington and his great, great role in Malcolm X. What makes Black History Month different and special is because you have a moment to sort of stop and reflect about other parts of history in America that you may not have heard growing up. It's not just some month, you know, and people joke that it's the shortest month of the year. You might have a valid point there, but it's a moment to really grow to love America in a different way, to see the contributions of other Americans, like I said, that you don't get to always hear about in school. I'm doing a little research now on the prison system here in America, and I'm learning about a prison that was built in the turn of the century. And I'm looking for these stories, and I'm actually wanting to write a project. And I'm finding very few stories. The prison is 75% Black. And all of the stories I found in this book is incredible, by the way, are just like stories from the white perspective and white prisoners and the white people, the very small percentage. And I'm like, you have this plethora, this world, this sea of Black people and Black voices that have built this prison and unfortunately make up the majority of the prison system. And I can't find any stories that reflect that. But so I think that Black History Month is an opportunity for us to grow, to learn, and to keep moving forward and to see some beautiful aspects of history. When you're doing a medical show, we're selling something to the audience. Part of what we're selling is the fact that, you know, this is a show that's sort of based in some aspect of reality. We want to touch nerves in that way. Well, you can't do that without talking about economic disparities, about racial injustice. And, you know, I'll never forget season 1 when my character said that only 19% of surgeons are women and very few are Black women. We have an episode coming up where we talk about how Black doctors get paid 35% less than white doctors. You know, so every time I read something like that in a script, I go, yikes, they're going there. And it's great. It's important for us to do that. I learn when we read our scripts. I'm like, this is incredible. Sometimes I have to call the writers and go, I know not to ask. I know it's true, but is it? You know, and it's enlightening. And I think the more we are enlightened as a country, the better off we will be. So I'm glad that on this show, we're doing our best to do our part.